Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RPi Data Science YouTube channel. In this YouTube channel, in RPi Data Science, we often make YouTube videos in R and in Python. I do make videos on data analysis in R and in Python, and also provide some tips for your data analysis for efficient programming, or to make your data science career or your data analysis projects more efficient. I do provide tutorials, so if you are interested in learning this incredible language, I do recommend subscribing to this channel. It also encouraged me a lot to add more videos and to make more videos in the future. I do advise learning these two languages. R and Python are very important languages in data science, in statistics and machine learning. So it might be a good idea for all of us to learn R and Python, if possible Julia. Actually, Julia is also a new programming language, but it doesn't have as much libraries as in R and in Python. So first thing first, what we would like to do today is I would like to give you some tips in Jupyter Notebook. So you know, Jupyter Notebook is an interesting code editor. And many data scientists prefer using it because it helps you to write your markdown documents, your notes. At the same time, you can write your syntax or your code, your data analysis codes, and then it also provides you a very fantastic data visualization feature. However, while having all of these advantages, it has some limitations. You know, if you are using RStudio or other programming languages, for example, if I'm using RStudio, it has autocompletion option. Let's say if we write something in RStudio, you know, you can write something and then it immediately detects what you're gonna write. So then you will not spend more time in typing everything. And then you can simply, if I write GG, for example, RStudio will detect that I'm writing ggplot2. Or for example, if I simply write ggplot, and then RStudio will detect what I need. Let's say, yeah, those kind of features. So these features, this autocompletion feature, it doesn't exist in Jupyter Notebook, at least in the default version of Jupyter Notebook. Also, if you are using PyCharm, PyCharm is another very fantastic code editor. This is a professional version, PyCharm Professional, but you can also use PyCharm, the other one, which is not a professional. The professional is a paid version, but if you are a student and if you have a student account, you can get PyCharm Professional. The difference is it has some scientific and non-scientific, so it doesn't have much difference, but you can try. So if I let's say in PyCharm, if I write something import, for example, you know, it immediately detects it what I'm writing. So import, for example, if I want to write pandas as PD, and then, you know, it immediately, let's say if I want to write something again, it immediately detects it. And if you are using Kit, it will make your life much more easier. So this is kind of, it watches what you are writing here, and then it immediately provides you the functions of, let's say, the libraries that you are writing. Yeah, so it makes your life much easier. Let's say I just wrote import pandas as PD, and then my kit is detecting that I need functions from pandas. So it gives me all the popular functions, the main functions of the pandas. So you can simply scroll down, and let's say if you want to read the CSV or something, you just type this, hit this, and then see the arguments and the functions that you need for writing pandas functions in PyCharm. The other one, let's say if I want to import Seaborn, so it immediately detects it again, Seaborn as SNS, and then you see my Kit plugin, it's immediately saying that I need some functions from SNS package. So I do recommend adding this Kit. I think to do that you can simply Control Alt plus S. I'm not exactly sure, but you can, yeah. So this you can press Ctrl plus Alt plus S and then see plugins. So you can simply check plugin, and there are many additional plugins. For example, if you want to run R language, you can also add this plugin. If you want to read CSV or other files directly using PyCharm, then you can add these plugins. But this is not my goal today. My goal is just to show you here how the other code editors are, outsmarting Jupyter Notebook. But still, at least the default, they are outsmarting the default Jupyter Notebook. But with additional extensions, you can make your Jupyter Notebook coding experience much more efficient than the default one. To do that, what you need is you need to install additional features or additional plugins or additional extensions in Jupyter Notebook. So one of that is this contrib nb extensions. You can find it also in Jupyter website. I think you can simply type this Google, let's say Jupyter Notebook extensions or something. It will immediately provide you this. So what I would like to install this package in my in my command line. So what I need is I'm using this Anaconda prompt. Let me set my working directory. Let me type this and then cd, and then let me type this, and then I just install my working directory. And the next thing is I need to install this pip install Jupyter contrib extensions, because this is one of the extensions that I really would like to install. So to do that, I can simply copy this, maybe if it works, and I can simply I don't need PyCharm. I just need my this one here. So, and then you see I already have it. I can simply enter, run it, so it will install everything. And the next thing is, now it's completed. I already installed it. So the next is I need another extension, that is Jupyter contrib nb extension install. I just need to run these two installation commands. So now I just run this again. So this would be again, yeah. So this with this I already have some of the the Jupyter Notebook extensions, but I would also like to add some other extension. This extension developed by Vang, I think. So I would like to add some Jupyter themes. I need to install this theme in my Jupyter Notebook, and to install that, I mean, this theme, it allows you to use dark mode Jupyter Notebook or other. I do prefer compared to the white mode. I do prefer the dark mode because it allows me to focus more in my coding, and my data visualization will get more contrasting and it gets nicer. So I do like to have the darker options. So to do that, I need to install this pip install Jupyter themes. I just need to install this pip install Jupyter themes. Now it's just installed. I think there is recommended, if you want to make it dark. Let's say I want to add, to make it dark, I just need to write Jetty Jupyter, and then let's say just need to copy and paste it, maybe might be easier. So it's Jetty -t onedork, and then -t capital N, and then -n. It looks kind of weird, but this is how you can change your theme to dark. So now I just changed my theme, my Jupyter Notebook theme. Now I just need to fire my Jupyter Notebook with my browser. So I just need to type this Jupyter Notebook, enter, and then it immediately opens it in my browser. So now it just opened it. So it just opened. So now you have the default Jupyter Notebook you only have these files running. Running applications. For example, if you have some notebooks that you are running in your analysis or something, so then you have these only the 3 options. The last one, we just install NB extensions. This is NB extension that we just installed. So if you click that, and then you have all these different extensions. Let's say the scroll down or table of contents. There are many additional extensions, for example, Python Markdown, or so many of you can have a look some of them. But for me, what was most interesting was is this one, the Hinterland. So you just come here. You can maybe have a table of content option, but I do like to I do advise this. This will incredibly make your code more efficient. So you just write Hinterland. Now it's activated. So it's just activated. So now I can just go back to my files, and then maybe I can have I can open, let's say in my case, I can you can run Python or Julia or SOS. But I do like to use SOS Notebook, because it allows me to use multiple programming languages. So I do advise in using SOS Notebook instead of Jupyter Notebook, because in Jupyter Notebook you can only run one programming language in one notebook. But if you use SOS Notebook, you can use many different languages in just one notebook. You just change it. You just change the language in the drop-down menu. I will show you. Let's say yeah. So you can change it to R or Python or Julia, and then it immediately run your script based on your preference, your preferred programming language. So I just fire SOS Notebook. But to install, if you are interested in installing SOS Notebook, you can simply type SOS Notebook, and then you can have a look at this website. So they have really interesting tutorials, how to install. It may take some time, but I'm sure you will manage to do it. Yeah, I didn't. Nobody trains me to install this. I just did it all by myself. So I didn't even watch videos. I only follow this guideline. You can install everything by following this, and I'm sure you will enjoy SOS Notebook much more than Jupyter Notebook. But the good thing with, we just installed this extension. If you remember, we just installed NB extension in Jupyter Notebook. So SOS Notebook is built in Jupyter Notebook. So everything that's just added, the extension that's just added in NB extension will also apply similarly to SOS Notebook. So we just ran SOS Notebook. We just opened a new SOS Notebook, and now it's in a dark mode because we already set it in dark. And then once there, you can change it to Python or R or something. Let's say I'm running R programming language here. Let me write something library. So it immediately, you have never seen this, in the default SOS or Jupyter Notebook. So if you write, it's detecting. Let's say ggplot. Maybe let me library ggplot2. ggplot2, and then if you run it, immediately I'm loading it, and then if I write, so you see it's the autocompletion is working, so it's giving me the functions. So it's yeah, this is one incredible feature that you really need in Jupyter Notebook, so that it will make your coding much more efficient. Then let's say if I want Python, for example, Python 3, I'm using Python 3. So I just need to write import. So Jupyter Notebook will detect that I am importing something. For example, if I just write Seaborn, so the autocompletion is detecting my that I would like to run, and that my interest is, I just write SEAB, and then Seaborn, Jupyter, my new extension is Hinterland, the one I just show you, Hinterland here. That's what you need to activate. So Hinterland is detecting that I would like to run Seaborn. Then as SNS, Seaborn as SNS. so it gives you what are the other available functions, but we don't need this, and then you can simply write like this. So this is really incredibly important extension if you are really a Jupyter Notebook lover. So you can add this extension, and then you can make your R or Python programming much more efficient than the default Jupyter Notebook. Thanks. I hope you find this helpful, and I would like you to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, and enjoy R and Python.